Okay, here we are with another video battle report. This time we're playing the Storm the Lines out of the Vigilus Defiant new book. So in this mission, it's attacker versus defender. My orcs are going to be the attacker, and the world eaters are going to be the defender. And so he has 2 deployment zones. This center deployment zone is worth paying attention to. We marked it with the different walls. So at the end of the mission, there's 2 ways to win. Either I have some models in this back deployment zone, or we count out the number of models that are in the middle zone, and whoever has the most gets a minor victory, which matters for the number of points that you earn in each stage of the Defiant campaign. So for now, it's going to be attacker versus defender. I start on this 12-inch deployment zone, and I got to kind of work my way forward. And so we're going to discuss the armies here. It looks like we have... Well, here, go ahead and point out what are each of these units. What have we got here?
So regular Marines, Plasma Flamer.
Okay.
Mauler Fiend, Forge Fiend.
Mauler Fiend, Forge Fiend. Okay, and they're in the forward position deployment. The back position, we have some Raptors in here.
Raptors with Flamers.
Raptors with Flamers.
Field Flamer on the Hell Drake.
Okay.
Close Combat Knight.
Close Combat Knight. He's got a chainsword and a fist there, which he did a good job on this guy. Looks nice and defiled by corn. Then back here, what do we got?
Obliterators.
Obliterators, custom Obliterators. That's pretty good.
Sorcerer, and then 2 squads of Berserkers.
Okay. And have you spent any CPs before the start of the game? And how many did you start with?
9.
You got 9 skulls for the Skull Throne. Okay. The Orc deployment is 10 Flashgits with Badruck. We got a Dragster, a Shock Jump Dragster, 10 Grots, what is this guy here? He's the Psyker, the Warphead. He's not actually a Warphead, he's just a weird boy. Did not pay the extra CP for that. We got 30 boys led by Run DMC. So it's 30 boys, Slugga Choppa with a knob with Power Claw, 10 Grots in front of him. Then we got 20 boys with Shooters with a knob and a big Choppa. We have the War Boss with the Power Claw, Rocket, Attack Squig. We have a Mech Boss with a, what is this guy here? This is my Morkanaut. He's got the custom force field up. We have 4 Tractor Cannons, 10 more Grots, 10 more Grots, and then we have a Death Killer War Trike and a custom Boosta Blasta. I'm playing with a couple of new units. As you can see, I've almost got him finished. I just haven't finished the War Boss that rides on them. But so far, so good on that. Okay, so I have 14 points total because he was the War Boss and he took Follow Me Lads. Or sorry, the Warlord. So it gave me an extra CP. I spent 1 CP to use the Defias rules to make him this battalion a Dread Mob, which gave me access to the Super Shock attack. And then I spent 1 CP for extra gubbins so that my Trike War Boss can have the Super Cyborg body. And that's all the CP that I spent so far. I'll get back to you at the end of... well, actually, we'll roll off here. In this mission, the attacker goes first on a dice roll of 1, 2, or 3, and the defender goes first on a dice roll of 4, 5, or 6. This is rolled by the attacker. Okay, so I'm going to go first. And I believe he can still seize the initiative, so do you want to go ahead and try and roll that? And he does. He steals the initiative, so the defender's going to go first. The Orcs will spend 2 CPs to have cover for the first turn. So we'll get back to you at the end of Chaos Turn 1. Okay, so this is the end of Chaos Turn 1. We had the Mauler Fiend moved up, the Forge Fiend moved up, the Knight moved up, the Helldrake moved up. These what are they? These are the actual Khorne Berserkers, right? They moved forward. I think these guys shifted a little bit. The Raptors took a better position behind the wall so you can't see them. And the Sorcerer moved forward, did not cast any spells. And Karn the Betrayer kind of shifted as well. But overall, that was it. Now, I'm going to make an addendum to the first round, or the deployment. I actually spent the 2 CP for the mission special rule, which is Dawn Assault. So it subtracts -1 to all both my and my opponent's first shooting phase. And so between that and moving forward, he didn't have any hits in his shooting phase, so kind of uneventful. It basically means that he's shooting it as an orc. So we'll get back to you at the end of... Oh, also, keep in mind the special mission rules for this are also sustained assault. And we're playing this because in Vigilus first campaign mission, the phase 1 for the first round gives orc players +1 advance move and charge move. So that'll be relevant at the end of my turn 1. So I'll get back to you here in a minute. Okay, here we are at the top of orc turn 1. Or sorry, bottom of turn 1. It's orc turn 1. We move forward with all of my my dudesmen's. I used 1 CP for a reroll to wound to try and help me kill this guy. I was able to get both my Death Killer Wartrike and my Custom Booster Blasta in. Remember that they're getting the additional 1 on the advance and charge move. And because they're evil sons, they can really blaze. So even though they started over here, it's just ridiculous how far they can get into a charge. Between their 2 assaults, I got him, 7 wounds down. He was down to 1. He would have died, but he used his 1 CP for him as well to re-roll, and he managed to make his last save. So he's hanging out on 1 point, which means because he's a demon engine, next turn he'll be at 2 wounds. So that's pretty cool. And then I did a decent amount of wounds to this guy. He's left with 6, but again, he's a demon engine, so he'll go up to 7 next turn. And then over here, on this side of the table, we jumped my 30-man Slugga Boy squad, and they came in over here, and then we're able to charge. Again, evil sons with this special rule for the first phase of the invasion. They're getting an additional +1 inch. They're really able to get in there. And so I wasn't able to get as many boys into combat as I would have liked, so I was only able to kill 5 of their dudes. But now we're stuck into combat, so that's right where we want to be as orcs. In this scenario, they're using the sustained assault rule for the attackers. So every unit of my troops has a pretty good chance to come back. So I'm not too worried about them dying next turn. If they do die, that's great. They can maybe come back. So we'll see you at the bottom of turn 2. And we'll see. Oh, yes, I also killed his Helldrake. That's something that I totally buried the lead on. So with the -1 to hit in my shooting phase, it didn't really affect my tractor cannon's auto hitting. So that was really cool for me, not for Mr. Hell Chicken. I am now sitting on 9 CP out of the starting ones. So we'll get back to you at the end of Chaos's next turn. All right, end of Chaos turn 2. They killed my Custom Booster Blasta. The Death Killer finished off the last 2 wounds. And took 2 wounds from Smite. He actually did 6 wounds, but I made my Super Cyborg body save. So he made a ridiculous amount of saves. I really shouldn't have done that. It's statistically way too high. So that Death Killer Wartrike should be dead at least 3 times by now, I think. The Knight moved up, ignored the boys, much to his despair, because the boys were successful at killing all the chaos around them. They are hyped up on, Squig Dust, I think, so they're ready to go. Sorcerer moved forward, Karn moved forward, some of these guys over here moved forward a little bit, just shifting around. Looking bleak for Chaos. So it'll be my turn 2, but I got a couple of rules here to make. So because of this sustained assault rule, on a 4+, immediately set up a unit that is 6 inches away from the battlefield edge. Now, if it's a troop, I get +2 to that roll. So since he killed the Custom Booster Blasta, he also killed 3 flash kits as well. So he killed the Custom Booster Blasta. I'm going to roll a dice here, and on a 4+, I get to bring that Custom Booster Blasta back. So I do not get to bring a Custom Booster Blasta back. So I'll get back to you at the end of the Orc turn 2. Okay, so the end of Orcs turn 2, my boys charge into this 10-man unit of Horned Berserkers. I killed 5 of them, but he managed to do enough that by the time I had to make a morale check, I ran off the table. So he killed the rest of those boys that were left. Over here, you'll notice that the Knight is gone. The combined shooting of all of my Orc stuff managed to kill it. I got some really good wound rolls. I'm not going to lie, I rolled 6s where I shouldn't have, so that's pretty good. So it died. It exploded. Did 5 wounds to his Forge Fiend. So I was able to charge it and handily defeat it. It only had like a couple of wounds left. So that's 1 to the Orks. So you'll also notice that the Shock Jump Dragster teleported itself back here. So it's in position to be scoring currently. So it's holding the backfield objective. So he's going to have to come over here. All right, so that's the end of Orc turn 2. I'll get back to you at the end of Chaos turn 3. It's looking bleak on Vigilus for anybody but the Orcs. So see ya. All right, end of Chaos turn. What we're on turn 3, right? No.
Morale for them.
Oh yeah, go ahead and roll the morale.
No,
Oh, you just spend it. Okay.
I don't.
You're fine. Sorry, guys. So he spent 1 CP for a reroll, so he's down to 2 right there. He's got 2 left. And he was able to kill my Morkanaut. He killed my Deathkiller Wartrike. He killed my 30 boys last round, actually. So he just got these kind of big guys here. The Sorcerer that he had died in Overwatch when he tried to charge in. So that was actually a really lucky roll for me. And I did a couple of wounds to these Berserkers. So the Obliterators in here actually managed to do 17 wounds to the Morkanaut. So I brought it down from almost full to 17. So I only had 1 wound left, which is pretty good. I spent 2 CP myself that turn so that I could interrupt the assault with my Wartrike. That way he could actually get some attacks in before he died. And so that was the name of the game. We will go to Orcs turn 3. And so with the sustained assault rules, we'll start rolling to see if any of those guys come back. So the Morkanaut on a 4. So the Morkanaut comes back. The Deathkiller Wartrike does not come back. The Custom Boosta Blasta comes back. And then the boys get +2 to this roll. So on a 2+, they're coming. Sorry, it's 4, 3, 2. Yeah, so 2+ to the boys. So the boys are coming back too. So I get my 30 boys back. So it looks like this is going to be the end of the game for the. This is a good reserve roll for me. So we'll see what happens. I will get back to you at the end of Orc turn 3 with all of my reinforcements. Okay, this is the end of Orc turn 3. We were able to, with combined shooting, remove all of the rest of the Khorne Berserkers and Karn. My Morkanaut, which tried to be sneaky and outflank itself on this side of the table, was taken out by cleverly deployed traps. So there's a stratagem that you can use here for the defender called traps. And so for the unit that you name, you roll a D6, and on a 6, that unit is or model is destroyed. Just completely no rolls, no nothing. He's just gone. And so he rolled it on my Morkanaut and rolled a 6. It was pretty awesome. The boys came on. They jumped back here, and then they between them shooting and the shock attack gun shooting, were able to remove the Obliterators. Now that shock attack gun, the souped up shock attack gun, managed to roll 11 shots and hit with 5 of them, I think. So it was a pretty good roll with me. Well, I got 5 hits after all the Dakadakas, so it was pretty good. And then this is the lone survivor of the chaos. I think that we're just going to call it. What do you think of playing some more of the campaign? Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna play some more of the campaign this round. As playing an Orc player, it was kind of favored for me. Giving me all that extra movement was pretty good. So it was really kind of lopsided in his favor. But there are missions that give advantages to all the different races at some point during the campaign. So I may have got an early victory here, but I think that won't always be the case. So we'll see how it goes. It was a very fun mission. It was wonky. It wasn't it wasn't a balanced mission. It was just a lot of fun. As far as the Deathkiller Wartrike, I get a lot of people ask me, how I feel about the model. I think it performs fairly well. Usually when it gets stuck in there, it can't really kill its way out of big melees. It's always going to die. And as long as you know that, you just got to be aware of it. The Custom Boosta Blasta, though, has been pretty good every game that I've played with it. So he is also just a lot of fun to paint. So that's it, Orc fans. We'll talk to you again after another battle report.